Sing Unburied Sing, a novel from Jesmond Ward, seems to have left an everlasting impression among a significant population of its readers. I've seen countless reviews and articles praising the book for the lesson it teaches and the representation of characters within the novel. One review says, "Sing Unburied Sing captivated me almost instantly. This is how character-driven family dramas should be, and there's nothing quite like a nice bit of dysfunctional family drama to keep me turning pages." From Emily on Goodreads. Analyzing the story in class and seeing these reviews excited me to read it. It even has 2 award stickers on the cover for the 10 best books of the New York Times and the National Book Award winner. I had high expectations for Ward's book. After going through more than half of the novel, I had realized I felt at a loss trying to follow the book's direction, along with some of the characters and events being very one-dimensional or lackluster. The first chapter begins with Jojo's perspective on his birthday, which introduces us to the dysfunctionality of his family. During Jojo's internal monologue, we learn more about his relatives. He reminisces about his childhood, saying, "Back when I still called Leonie Mama, before she was more gone than here, before she started snorting crushed pills. Back then I still called Michael Pop." Immediately, we as readers are in the know of Jojo's relationship with his mother and father, along with his grandfather opting to call him Pop instead of his real father. And throughout the novel, after being shown more of these characters and how much Jojo and Kayla suffer under their parents' care, the audience expects something to come of this, for the author to give them somewhat of a definite conclusion, or give Jojo and Kayla an escape. But after getting all the way to the finish line, I'm left feeling unsatisfied. The last we get of Leonie is her driving off with Michael to get high, and then Jojo saying, "She ain't never here." Not really. She come back every week, stay for 2 days, then leave again. A good example of character development would have to be giving Leonie a more caring role, or at least having her strive to want to get clean. But no, we are in the same place we were when the story began. The lack of development in Leonie leaves a hole in the story, causing the plotline to feel incomplete. Throughout the novel, from Leonie's perspective, we are given little snippets of her feeling sympathetic towards her children because of how she treats them. For example, her 3-year-old daughter clings more to her brother Jojo because she knows she can rely on him to take care of her. On page 97, we read, "Before I even have a moment to admonish him, to say his name sharply, say, 'Jojo.'" Michaela is smashed into his chest and her little arms are around his neck again. Then on page 98, "Part of me wanted her to leap from me. To smear orange vomit over the front of my shirt as her little tan body sought mine." In seeking comfort, Kayla immediately reaches for Jojo, which gives us a glimpse of how Leonie wishes her life were different, and how much she longs for what could have been. But nothing becomes of it. In the end, she stays irrelevant to their lives, which is right where we began. Leonie isn't the only character like this either. Missy's character is also a major victim of being underdeveloped and one-dimensional. Jojo is introduced to her when our journey to Parchment begins, stopping to pick her up at her house. She is immediately known to be Leonie's friend, who is also abusive of illegal substances. When she gets in the car with Leonie and the kids, Jojo notices that Missy's trying to act like she's not holding a paper bag tucked into a plastic bag. Then going on to say, Missy is bent down, fiddling with Leonie's floor mats, and then the bag disappears. It is later revealed that there are various drugs in the bag, along with a hidden compartment under the floor mats in the car. Her abuse of substances and her string of complaints throughout the novel serve to be her only personality traits. We are never given any deeper insight into her character. When Kayla gets sick in the car, Missy says things like, "That smell is going to make me throw up," and chastises Leonie when Kayla throws up again with, "I thought you gave her something for that." And even though she's complaining about it, she does nothing to help. She also only enables Leonie's addiction. When Leonie wants to stay with Kayla because she's sick and wants to take care of her for once, Misty pushes saying, "Let her sleep it off. She'll be fine." And it's noted that she looks at Leonie like she's saying 2 things at once, one with her mouth and the other with her eyes. "You've been driving all day. Might be nice to unwind and take a break." Missy doesn't do much in the story besides complain and enable Leonie's addiction. After the road trip, she isn't relevant to the story anymore after we drop her off at her house. Without her character, not much would change. She's just another name on the page. This only damages the plot more because 2 of our main characters now do nothing to push the story forward and only react instead of act. Along with the individual characters being underdeveloped, the story itself cannot follow one line. There is a beginning, rising action, climax, falling action, and a resolution in every plotline diagram. Of course, there is room to change, but generally, according to StoryboardThat.com, narrative arcs and the plot diagram are essential for building literary comprehension and appreciation. The beginning is clear. The characters go to Parchment to break their father, Michael, out of prison. If the book were to follow this storyline, arriving at Parchment would most likely be seen as the rising action, or even the climax. But instead we are introduced to this character named Richie as a ghost, and nothing becomes of the Parchment story. In turn, we begin to follow Richie to find out why he died. It's almost as if the main character role were pushed onto Richie. But then why is he introduced on page 133 instead of the first page? Along with that, after he comes into the story, going to Parchment and the little road trip with Leone serves no purpose in Richie's story at all. So why put it in? It makes no sense and too many questions are introduced. Overall, the story is pretty good in pieces, but these individual errors affect the whole, leaving inconsistencies in the storyline and the readers with too many unanswered questions. The book doesn't live up to the hype, with two of the main characters being severely one-dimensional and no clear and concise plot.